You know that feeling when you're enjoying a quiet Saturday in your own backyard, and suddenly the neighborhood busybody is pounding on your door demanding you vacate the premises because your rose bushes are the wrong shade of pink? Yeah. That happened to me. What Karen Whitmore, our beloved HOA president, didn't count on was that her power play was about to expose her as the biggest fraud in suburbia. Oakwood Grove looked like the American dream on a postcard: manicured lawns, identical beige houses with perfect shutters, kids riding bikes in cul-de-sacs, and flags waving gently in the breeze. But beneath that postcard perfection was a suffocating web of rules enforced by one woman who treated the neighborhood like her personal kingdom. Karen Whitmore had been HOA president for 8 years. And she ran it like a dictator in pastel cardigans and pearl earrings. Every meeting started with her smiling that tight, practiced smile while reminding everyone that we're all in this together for property values. Dear, I was Ryan Ellis, the quiet guy who moved in 2 years ago after a rough divorce. I just wanted peace, no drama. No drama queens. I kept my lawn mowed, paid my dues on time, and minded my business. But Karen decided I was a threat the moment my rose bushes bloomed a slightly deeper pink than the approved palette on her sacred color chart. First came the polite notes in my mailbox: gentle reminder, non-compliant landscaping. Please rectify within 14 days. Then the fines. Then the whispers. Neighbors started giving me side-eye at the community pool because Karen had confided that I was difficult and bringing down values. She even hinted I threw loud parties, never mind that the only noise from my place was the occasional lawnmower. I stayed silent at first. I smiled, nodded, and threw the notices in a drawer. But inside, I was watching, documenting, waiting. Because men like me, former corporate lawyers who've spent decades negotiating with sharks, know that patience is the sharpest weapon. One sunny afternoon, Karen marched up my driveway in her standard uniform, khakis, a blouse buttoned to the neck, and that clipboard she wielded like a sword. Her face already had that righteous flush. Ryan, darling, she cooed in that fake sweet voice that could curdle milk. I'm afraid we have a serious issue. Your birdbath is not on the approved accessory list. And those roses, well, they're simply not harmonious with the community aesthetic. You have 24 hours to remove them, or we'll have no choice but to initiate foreclosure proceedings. It's for the good of everyone. I stood there holding my coffee mug, staring at her. Karen, this is my house. My yard. The birdbath was a gift from my late mother. I'm not removing it. Her smile vanished. The mask cracked. You seem to misunderstand how this works. The HOA covenants are very clear. Non-compliance after notice can result in liens, forced sale, or removal. We can't have one bad apple spoiling the barrel. She jabbed a perfectly manicured finger toward my face. Pack your things if you can't comply. You're not welcome here anymore. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I said calmly, I'm not going anywhere. This is my property. That was when she pulled out her phone, dialed 911 with dramatic flair, and spoke loud enough for the whole block to hear. Yes. Officer. This is Karen Whitmore, president of the Oakwood Grove HOA. I have a trespasser refusing to leave private community property. He's becoming hostile and I fear for my safety. Please send someone immediately. Hostile? I hadn't raised my voice. I hadn't moved. I was still holding my damn coffee. The cops showed up 10 minutes later. Karen greeted them like a damsel in distress, gesturing wildly at my perfectly normal suburban home. He's violating multiple covenants. His landscaping is an eyesore. And he refuses to comply. This man is a danger to our property values. The officers looked uncomfortable. I handed them my deed and a folder of permits. This is my house. Bought and paid for. Those violations are her personal opinions. They took notes. Told Karen to calm down. And left without dragging me away. But the damage was done. The neighbors had watched the show. Karen had made her point, defy me and I'll make your life hell. That was the spark. What followed was a slow, delicious burn. Over the next weeks, Karen went full throttle. Daily violation notices appeared, my trash cans visible for 12 minutes past pickup. My American flag 2 inches too high on the pole. My car parked at the wrong angle in my own driveway. Code enforcement officers started showing up. Clearly embarrassed. Muttering that someone higher up was pressuring them. Fines piled up into the thousands. She even started a whisper campaign that I was antisocial and possibly unstable, which explained why no one would sit near me at the annual block party. But I wasn't the broken type. While Karen was busy measuring grass blades with a ruler at 6 a.m., I was building my case. I recorded every interaction. I knocked on doors quietly. Mrs. Alvarez down the street admitted Karen had fined her $500 for excessive holiday lighting even though she only had one small wreath. The young couple on Maple Court showed me letters threatening foreclosure over their kid's basketball hoop. Tyler, the night shift nurse, had videos of Karen patrolling at midnight, shining a flashlight into windows to check for unauthorized window treatments. Then came the real dirt. Through public records and a helpful county clerk, I discovered the financials didn't add up. Thousands in community beautification fees had vanished into vague invoices for a landscaping company owned by Karen's brother-in-law. The community pool renovation that never happened. Her family's new backyard oasis looked suspiciously similar to the missing funds. It wasn't just petty tyranny. It was theft dressed up as neighborhood pride. I kept my cool. No shouting. No social media rants. Just quiet. Methodical collection of evidence, timestamps, bank statements, witness statements, and hours of hidden camera footage of Karen's ridiculous patrols. The kind of footage that made you laugh and rage at the same time. Karen in yoga pants at dawn. Yelling at a 7-year-old for drawing chalk hopscotch on the sidewalk because it lowers curb appeal. The tension built like a pressure cooker. Neighbors who once avoided me started slipping notes under my door. Thank you for standing up. She's been doing this for years. One by one, they joined the quiet resistance. Tyler started uploading carefully edited clips online, Karen screaming about flag height. Karen fining someone for a non-regulation welcome mat. The comments exploded, classic HOA Karen, this is why people hate suburbs, someone needs to take her down. Karen felt the ground shifting. She called an emergency HOA meeting, demanding full attendance. Certain individuals are undermining our community standards, she announced from the podium. Voice dripping with fake concern. We must protect what we've built. That's when I stood up, folder in hand. And the room went dead silent. I laid out the evidence one piece at a time. The financial discrepancies. The witness statements. The videos. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Karen's face went from smug confidence to tight-lipped anger. Then to wide-eyed panic as residents started murmuring. But I wasn't finished. I placed the thickest document on the table, the original 1987 Master Development Deed. While you've been busy fining people for bird baths and chalk drawings, I've been reviewing something more important. My grandfather was the original developer of Oakwood Grove. I inherited the master deed and reversionary rights. According to the covenants you love to quote, the HOA's authority exists only with the consent of the master landowner. That landowner is me. Effective immediately. I am revoking that consent. This board is dissolved. All fines are void. And Karen? Your little empire is over. The room erupted. Karen's face turned a deep, satisfying shade of purple. She sputtered. This is forgery. Lies. You can't do this. Her hands shook so badly her precious clipboard clattered to the floor. For the first time, the woman who loved to lecture everyone about rules had no rules left to hide behind. Neighbors who had feared her for years started clapping. Some laughed outright. The mask was gone, nothing left but a petty tyrant exposed in bright fluorescent light. The fallout was swift and beautiful. County investigators opened a case on the missing funds. Karen resigned in disgrace before she could be voted out. A few of her loyal enablers quietly sold their houses and moved. The rest of us rewrote the covenants into something sane. No more approved rose colors. No more ruler-measured lawns. No more midnight patrols. For the first time in years, Oakwood Grove actually felt like a community instead of a prison with beige walls. Kids drew chalk hopscotch without fear. Flags flew at whatever height people wanted. And I finally got to enjoy my slightly too pink roses in peace. Documentation is power. Patience is power. And when someone tries to control you in the name of standards, sometimes the most devastating response is to simply wait. Watch. And then drop the truth like an anvil. So here's the question I want you to answer honestly in the comments: was I wrong for enduring the harassment silently until I had ironclad proof? Or was Karen the real villain for abusing her position and terrorizing her own neighbors in the name of order? What would you have done if an HOA Karen tried to evict you from your own home? Drop your thoughts. I read every single one.